introduction of our task. Karpal Singh, son of Ram Singh, was born in Penang on June 28, 1940, to Ram Singh Dio and Kata Kaur. Her parents come to this country as first-generation immigrants from Punjab, India, in search of a better life. During World War II and the quickly of the Japanese occupation, the Karpal family faced many difficulties. Food was running low and an 11-person family was living in a converted garage. Instead of fleeing the country with their white sahib, when the country gained independence, they chose to secure their family future under Tengku Abdul Rahman new leadership, which provide constitutional protection for all communities. Karpal studies at the National University of Singapore after putting in a lot of effort in school. Karpal first entered politics in 1970 when he joined the Democratic Action Party (DAP). In 1974, he was elected to the state of Kedah. He was elected to Parliament for the first time in 1978 as the Member of Parliament for Jelutong, Penang, a position he maintained until 1999. When he won Bukit Gelugur seat in the 2004 election, he returned to Parliament. In the 2008 and 2013 elections, he retained his seat and was elected DAP National Chairman. Karpal has a law firm in Malaysia as well. The Malaysian Bar Council, a professional body that oversees the profession in Peninsular Malaysia, has registered Karpal Singh & Co. as a law firm. The law firm of Karpal Singh & Co. and its practitioners have met the intellectual, practical and formal qualification as forced by the Malaysian Bar Council in the Legal Profession Act 1976, which governed the legal profession in Malaysia. He has received a variety of honorary degree and medals since entering the area of law and politics, including the title of Datuk Seri Utama.
Karpal Singh was one of well-known politicians in Malaysia. Karpal Singh is an outspoken opposition politician. His full name is Datuk Sri Utama Karpal Singh, son of Ram Singh. He was born in Jelutong, Penang. He was born on 28 June 1940. Apart from being a politician, he is also a well-known lawyer. He graduated in law from the University of Singapore and was called to the bar in 1969. Karpal Singh has been awarded the Darjah Utama Pangkuan Negeri DUPN. The title was obtained during the 82nd anniversary celebration of the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri of Penang, Tun Abdul Rahman Abbas. The Bukit Gelugur Member of Parliament is known to the public as the Tiger of Jelutong because he was hard to beat by his rival in the Jelutong parliamentary seat contest before the 1999 general election. Karpal Singh is a Member of Parliament for the constituency of Bukit Gelugur in the state of Penang, and he is also the National Chairman of the Democratic Action Party (DAP) from the year of 2004 until 2014. Karpal Singh had a motorcycle accident in early 2005. The accident he suffered has forced him to use a wheelchair. This is because the accident resulted in him having neuromotor problems in his left arm. His principle is, "Wish you live" is a measure of fact. Karpal Singh married his wife, Gurmit Kaur, in July 1917. His wife's family was from Nawasiwat, Thailand, but moved to Penang when Gurmit was 7 years old. Karpal and Gurmit were blessed with 5 children. Datin Singh, born in 3 May 1971, he is a lawyer and politician from the Democratic Action Party (DAP), just like his father. Being a lawyer qualified him to head his father's law firm Karpal Singh and Co. He won the general election in 2008 and won a seat in 1929 Datuk Kramat Penang. He was subsequently appointed as an executive councillor in the Penang. Govind Singh is the second son of Karpal Singh and Gurmit Kaur. He was born on 19 June 1973. Just like his father and brother, he is also a politician in the DAP and a lawyer. In 20 May 2018 until 2 February 2020, Gurmit Singh was the Ministry of Communications and Mass Media in the Pakatan Harapan PH administration under former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad. He is also a member of Deputy Chairman of the Democratic Action Party (DAP). Since 2008, he was a member of Parliament MP for Puchong. Karpal Singh was born on 19 April 1976. Following his father and his brothers, Karpal also participated in politics and became a lawyer. He is currently the Member of Parliament MP of Malaysia for Bukit Kelugu constituency in Penang. Karpal Singh is a chairman of the Consideration of Bill Select Committee representing Permatang Pauh MP Nurul Izzah Anwar. Sanggit Kaur Dio, daughter of Karpal Singh, was born on 1918 in Bukit Kelugu, Penang. Sanggit is a lawyer in Malaysia. She is the only daughter in this family. Although she does not follow her brothers and father, she is doing well as a lawyer. She is the only daughter in this family. Karpal Singh, son of Karpal Singh, is the youngest in the family. He is the only one who does not become a lawyer or join a politics. Karpal is a businessman. He is a business planning or trading at Fed Hop Energy.
In the young days of his youth, Karpal Singh attended St. Xavier Institution. St. Xavier Institution is a secondary education institution for male students only, while offering Malaysian Higher School Certificate, which is STPM, for both gender. As for that, Karpal Singh got his SPM certificates from here and has been in an all-boys high school. Karpal Singh finished his high school years in his hometown as St. Xavier Institution is located in Farquhar Street, Georgetown. St. Xavier Institution also is an English language school, leading Karpal Singh to develop the international language more well and helps him to become a smart student. Karpal Singh works hard and gets an excellent result that leads him to a great higher institution to continue his studies in a more specific field, according to his talents and interests. As Karpal Singh decided to continue his studies, he entered a big university, which is National University of Singapore. There, he took law courses and was a part of the law faculty. Thus, he was studying to become a lawyer and spend his campus life in Singapore. He also played an important role in the university, which is the president of the student union at the time. As for that, he already began to enhance his skill and influence within his campus life and surrounding people. As he served in the president position, he works hard to fight any injustice. He was actively involved in the students and political issues while studying. One time, he strongly fought the university decision to abolish the certificate of political suitability for the enrollee students, and because of his protest, he was barred from the hostel. And yet, that is only one of his fights during his campus day. As he himself sees the sounds of his voice fighting the injustice, he starts to see his power.
So, let's talk about his political career. In early career, Karpal Singh joined the Democratic Action Party, or as known as DAP, citing the party's multiracial political platform following the race riots in 1969. And as a political newcomer, he begins his political career in the shadow of his late father, Karpal Singh, whose death prompted by the election. And in 1978 general election, Karpal won the Jelutong parliamentary seat and the Bukit Gelugo state seat. He held the Bukit Gelugo state seat until 1990, moving on to the contest, but he lost the Sungai Pinang and Padang Kota seat in subsequent election. In addition to this, in 1999 election, Karpal, along with opposition leader Lim Kit Siang, lost his Jelutong parliamentary seat, which he held for 21 years. And following that, the DAP has joined Barisan Alternatif and opposition alliances with Parti Keadilan and the Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party, or as we know as PAS, a move strongly advocated by Karpal and Lim itself. Despite the ruling Barisan Nasional or BN coalition suffering a significant losses in the election, it was Keadilan and PAS that absorbed the gains, while the DAP supports eroded due to its supporters suspicious of PAS and its hardline Islamic stance. Although the DAP gained seats, the party performed well below expectation, with Lim Kit Siang, the leader of DAP at that time, admitting that the result was a claustrophobic defeat. And despite the setback, Karpal was retained as a party deputy chairman, while Lim was elected to be a chairman after the resignation of long-serving chairman Chen Man-hin. And for the next one, we talk about his return to the parliament. In 2004 general election, Karpal returned to parliament with a 1,261 majority win in the new Bukit Gelugo seat. The DAP regained its position as the largest opposition party in parliament. Karpal took over as DAP national chairman on 4 September 2004. And on 7 September 2004, Karpal was sanctioned for misleading the parliament after claiming that the MPs had to raise their right hand while taking the oath of office on 17 May. A report by the Parliamentary Rights and Privilege Committee gave him 3 days to apologize or face a 6-month suspension, and he refused to apologize and served the suspension. In 2008, Karpal retained his seat in the election with a near 20-fold increased majority, and he was re-elected in 2008 general election with outstanding 21,015 votes. The election saw a historic gain for the opposition, and who managed to deny the ruling coalition Barisan Nasional's BN a 2/3 majority in parliament for the first time. And the 3 main opposition parties were subsequently formed a formal coalition that called Pakatan Rakyat. And on that year 2009, Karpal was listed as the DAP representative on Pakatan Rakyat's Shadow Ministry of Home Affairs Committee. And in 2010, he was suspended from parliament for 10 days after calling the speaker a dictator. In December that year, he was suspended again for 6 months along with opposition MPs Anwar Ibrahim, Azmin Ali and Sibara Sarasya. Anwar was suspended for stirring up controversy over the government links with UPCO worldwide, while the rest were punished for making public the report by the Rights and Privilege Committee, which found Anwar guilty before the report was presented to the parliament. And in December 2011, Karpal and Penang's second Deputy Chief Minister P. Ramasamy feuded over the latter's purported accusation that descendants within the DAP were plotting against him for not handling them projects and favours. Karpal labelled Ramasamy a warlord and asked for him to resign as a Deputy Chief Minister. Ramasamy retorted by asking the party to remove its godfathers. In apparent reference to Karpal, the feuds were resolved internally, while Ramasamy later denied even making the plot accusation. At the DAP National Conference in January 2012, Karpal closed ranks with Ramasamy and asked the party warlords and godfathers to stand together against the Barisan Nasional. So, for the next one, we'll talk about his detention. Karpal, along with many other opposition politicians, was detained without trial under the Internal Security Act during the Operation Lalang in October 1987 for inciting the racial tension in the country. He was released briefly a few hours in March 1988 in response to a habeas corpus application, but was rearrested and remained in prison until January 1989. The Amnesty International deemed him a prisoner of conscience. And for his sedition trial, he was arrested in January 2000 under the Sedition Act, along with the 4 other opposition politicians and the editor of the Haraka Daily, the newspaper published by the opposition PAS. And he was charged for making a sedition remarks in court during Anwar's first corruption trial. This was the only known charge of sedition in any country in the Commonwealth of Nations brought against a lawyer for remarks made in court in defense of clients. The charge was dropped in 2002. So when we talk about politics, they must be an influence in their political career. And for Karpal Singh, he cited David Saul Marshall, Mahatma Gandhi, and John F. Kennedy as influence. And let's talk about his influence in our Malaysian political landscape. The May 13 incident convinced him that Malaysia needed to take a multiracial course, hence he joined the DAP. And Karpal also commended the first Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman for promoting racial unity. Karpal is also staunchly opposed to the notion of Malaysia as an Islamic state, arguing that the constitution provides for a secular nation with Islam as the official religion. He has been at a loggerheads with Mahathir as well as fellow opposition party PAS over the issue. Karpal even once said, "An Islamic state over my dead body," regarding the debate during a political speech, which made him as an enemy of Islam. He claims to have apologized for that matter. And additionally, the pro-secular group argued that the preparatory works of the MFC stated with regards to the issue of the state religions, the insertion of provision on state religion did not in any way imply and that Malaysia is not a secular country.
In the early morning of 17 April 2014, Karpal was killed in a car collide on the North-South Expressway E1 near Gua Tempurung, Perak. Besides that, Michael Cornelius Selvam Velu, his personal assistant, also died in the accident. Other than that, an Indonesian lady, his mate, has sustained significant injuries and bleeding in the brain, while Karpal Singh, his son, and the driver of MPV were in a good condition. Reports have found the Toyota Alphard to crash, as the scene was a steep road area, with a 5-ton truck loaded with cement, iron, and mosaic, which was thought to be driving slowly on the left side of the northern boundary. All of the victims have been brought to hospital, and then the fire and rescue workers on the spot helped the rescue effort for all casualties in the collision. During Karpal's funeral on April 20, 2014, Karpal's funeral was organized with all state honors, with family in Penang, and the public was attended by more than 10,000 persons attending his funeral, including the then Prime Minister Najib Tun Razak and his cabinet. Before going on to Batu Gantong, the march halted at Karpal's favorite sites, for instance, the Penang High Court, his office in Green Hall, and the Penang State Assembly building. The late Karpal's corpse was transported to the cremation facility at Batu Gantong at 1 p.m. 20 April 2014 in Georgetown, Penang. It was burned after the last respect and crying prayers, with the singing of its name in the procession. Then, several participants were there to give the late Karpal their last respect, including Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak, Lim Guan Eng, Lim Kit Siang, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, etc. They also mourned his passing. Public also gave a reaction about the tragedy. Politicians, activists, and those closely linked to the death convey their condolences to the family of Karpal. After departing Turkey, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, then Prime Minister, heard the information of Karpal's death and sent his condolences to the deceased family. In Twitter page, Najib said, after listening to the news that in a traffic accident, YB Karpal died, I just departed for Ankara to express my condolences to the deceased family. Sanjit Kaur Dio, his only daughter, told the reporters that her father and her personal assistant got a chance to laugh about death and didn't realize that was her father's last joke before the tragedy. The last joke is Karpal said that without Michael, I will die. Then Michael replied him, without the boss, I will die.
And the next one is I will be present about award and recognition of Karpal Singh. As we all may know, Karpal Singh is a great lawyer and a Malaysian politician. He contributed to Malaysia for almost 40 years, and there's an award and recognition that he get from that. The first award that he get is in 2008. He was recognized as the top 10 NRI newsmaker. And the next one that he get is that he received the Glory of India Award Excellence in 2011. Another award that Karpal Singh received Malaysian Bar Lifetime Achievement Award. This award is an honor for those who made a significant contribution to the profession and to expressing their gratitude to outstanding member in the Malaysian Bar who show a dedication to their service. This award that he get is in 2016. And the last one is the award that and recognition that he get is the posthumous award. This posthumous award is the Darjah Utama Pangkuan Negeri, which is the UPN, in 2020. It investor of the state award in Penang. And other than that, he also carries the title of Datuk Seri Utama. The award that he get is for his recognition for more than 40 years of loyal service to the country. And the next one is a memorial. This memorial is built to remembering the Karpal Singh. The late Karpal Singh was a great lawyer and a Malaysian politician, but he was also born and raised in Penang. After he died, in honor to remember his contribution and dedication to his work, which is a politician and a lawyer in Penang, they renamed a promenade to his name. The previous promenade was named IJM Promenade in Lebuh Sungai Pinang and been renamed to the Persiaran Karpal Singh, or we call in English Karpal Singh Drive.
Throughout his career as a lawyer and politician, Karpal faced numerous hurdles, including being suspended from Parliament 3 times. Karpal passed away on April 17, 2014 after being engaged in a second car accident. The 73-year-old Bukit Gelugur MP was reported to be on his way from Kuala Lumpur to Penang for a court hearing later that morning when the accident occurred. Karpal was memorialized following his death with the opening of the promenade on April 19, 2014. Karpal embodied the legendary words, "All great things are simple, and many may be described in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, compensation, hope." His devotion to justice, freedom, and most importantly, the rule of law has not wavered, and his enthusiasm for the rule of law and the well-being of his fellow Malaysians has inspired and will continue to inspire many future generations of Malaysians.